Hello my friends, HM here. In this video we are going to discuss the situation that has arisen because 700 Russian soldiers appears to be trapped between the Ukrainian border and a river inside Russia, and then also the Ukrainian incursion. You think that sounds interesting? Then keep watching. Okay, so here we have this map where we have Ukraine, Russia, and then the red areas here are, let's zoom a little bit in, these red areas are occupied territories of Ukraine. But let's see what's happening here today, the interesting stuff. Not much has happened today, it's a slow day with news, but what has happened is up here. This is the Ukrainian incursion into Russia. What has happened is that up here, now I'll zoom in, up here there is a river, and the biggest bridge on that river has been destroyed. We have a picture here of it. You can see it's completely destroyed. You can also see a day prior Ukraine had punctured 4 holes here on the bridge, and there's a vehicle on fire over here. But apparently that was not enough. That's probably done by HIMARS, but they don't have a big warhead. They can only make a little hole here. They have 70 kilo of explosives or something, and they'll make a hole in this bridge. So Ukraine attacked this bridge with a glider bomb and risked one of the airplanes attacking this bridge. Actually, Ukraine also lost a MiG-29 fighter, and they probably lost that MiG-29 fighter a couple of days ago, trying also to put a glider bomb on this bridge. But it's still me speculating here what they have used. They definitely got that bridge destroyed, and that was important, because if we zoom out of this area, you can see here we have the Ukrainian border along here, and this bridge is up here. And we can see there's a river, of course, and it's going all the way here, and then it goes down here, and then it goes here into Ukraine again. So this entire area here is kind of encircled by this river, and this river also goes further up here. Let's follow it. Yeah, here it goes. It goes into this area here that they're already fighting over. So Ukraine basically has trapped the 700 or so Russian soldiers that are inside this area. There are 2 other bridges that are still possible to use. One of them is here, in this area here. If we zoom in, we can see there's a bridge here, but it's not as robust as the first bridge. It's a much smaller bridge, this one. And we can also take a measure from here to here. It's almost 100 meter wide, this water. So this waterway is a very nice defense line to have, and it also indeed is part of Russia's second defense line towards Ukraine. But of course, for Ukraine to take this area, it will then become naturally Ukraine's defense line against Russia. So it will be great if Ukraine can take this area, and quite frankly, if there's only 700 men there and now they cannot get supplies, they still have to take out the 2 other bridges. Let me see, yeah, over here there's a bridge that's still intact, and they took out the most important bridge that could take tanks and so forth. The other bridges, I think, cannot take the weight of a tank, so they can no longer move tanks out or in. That's very important, but I think lighter vehicles can still go over these 2 other bridges, but I don't think they will be standing there for long. Ukraine will take them out. And we can also see Russia, close to this bridge here, Russia has built another bridge. There's a pontoon bridge here. It's barely visible, but there's actually a pontoon bridge going over here, so that's a military bridge that has been set up. What we should expect, of course, is that Ukraine are moving into this territory here and take it, because they don't, you could say there are defense lines here and there's this natural defense line here, but Ukraine can move into this area without facing minefields and established defense lines, so they should be able to take this territory. Also, if we go a little back in time to the 14th of August, Russia sent out mandatory evacuation orders to all the civilians in this area. So Russia knew that this area was not easy to defend after Ukraine successfully made this incursion into Russia. Then they expected pretty much that Ukraine would take this area next. And also Russia has been bombarding the entire borderline inside Ukraine. All the white dots here are Russian shelling. All the dots with airplane are glider bombs that are dropped from Russian airplanes. So they are bombarding it. And if you go back one day further, it's the same every day, lots of bombardments. and also on the 15th there were bombardments. Then we go to the 16th and it appears as if there are no artillery and no airplanes. That's what I thought in a previous video, that it just stopped that day, but I was wrong. The guy who makes this map simply don't have time to update with these bombs and artillery shells until 2 days after, so it comes with 2 days delay, and that's why. Now here the latest map is from the 16th of August, and there will still be lots of bombardments along these positions. And you bet that Russia is also bombarding these frontline troops that Ukraine is pushing. Obviously, there's a vector of assault here that Ukraine is pushing in this direction. Let's see if we go back in time. That was the 15, and now it's the 16, so you can see Ukraine already moving into this area. Hopefully, in a couple of days, they will have taken it all. What else can we see that happened over the past 24 hours? So here the 15 and then the 16. What is happening is that they're consolidating the area Ukraine has around this city, Sutsa. That's the largest city that Ukraine has under control, and they are expanding that area, you can see. Here we have the Russians, the red stuff. Go 1 day back, they controlled here. Now it's a war zone here. Also what we can see is that Ukraine is taking territory all the way round here. They're moving up here. The objective of Ukraine is to take this second defense line that Russia has, which is running along this railroad. That would be a natural second defense line that Ukraine must take, and they are advantaged because they can take it from both sides. So I think they will take it, and then Ukraine will of course make this defense line their own defense line against Russia, trying to kick them out of Russia. But this defense line, a train track is always on elevated territory, so it's higher up, and you can place minefields in front of it, and then you can put fighting positions along this railroad that can look over these fields here. So that will mean that Russians will have to go through a minefield and also go against these fighting positions that could be established along this line. Also, Russia has definitely established their own fighting positions, but they are oriented towards an attack from Ukraine, not the other way around. So Ukraine would have to rebuild these defense positions along this railroad. So it's suited for a defense against attack from Russia. Now, I found one more interesting news, and that's about, I made an estimate of how many troops that Russia has now moved up to this Kursk area to fight the incursion from Ukraine. And we have to go to another map to see that. This is a map from Deep State that's maintained by the Ukrainian military. Now each of these red dots here, they are a Russian brigade, and they represent between 4,000 and 5,000 soldiers. So that's quite a lot, and you can see there are lots of dots here. So what I did was, since this is a Ukrainian incursion, then I calculated how many dots can I calculate here. And on the 15th of August, I calculated 7 in this Kursk area. And then if we move up to the 16, here I calculate 11 of these. And also I can see 4 more dots has been removed from down here. I think they removed 1 from the Auditka area, and then removed 2 up from this Bakhmut area. And then they have removed also 1 from this incursion up here. I can just show you the 16th. Here it is. That one is removed. So that was the 4 dots I could count, and they all moved up here. So if it's between 4,000 and 5,000 men, and they have 4 of these moved up now, that means that Russia has moved between 16,000 and 20,000 soldiers up to fight in Kursk. So Ukraine has to move fast before it's too late, before Russia will have more troops up there in order to take that territory. That was kind of the news I wanted to tell you about for today. There's not much happening, and I want to make this video short, so I wish you a great life in freedom and democracy. Goodbye.